All right, next question.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Before I suck your tongue out of your face for saying that to me.
All right. We'll just go in order here because we got some good ones. Okay. You have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're either in prison for the rest of your life, or you are free, but you are alone in the world. There is no other human
What's
on
the
Earth.
prison thing? Not alone?
Yeah, no, you're in prison. Like, you have people.
Oh,
like,
okay.
you're basically, yeah, it's still the world as is, but you are in prison for the rest of your life. Or, again, no human. And I'll spice it up a little bit just in case it may be hard to choose. You don't, like, you'll have all the amenities and things you need, but you'll have no people to advance any shit and to perform any special function that you need. So there'll be no more new music or books.
So
or
kind of like
anything.
everybody got raptured except for me.
Yeah, everybody.
But I
yeah.
have the whole world at my fingertips.
Whole world at your fingertips, but you are nobody.
And in prison, are we talking max security, hell prison, El Salvadorian,
medium
or
security.
medium security? So you
Medium
can play
security.
basketball and walk around and have
Break
friends
your
and shit.
ACL. Yeah.
Not have to be in racial gangs.
Mm-hmm. But yes,
that's a really good one, dude. That's a good one.
You're still, yeah.
The old Twilight Zone episode where the classic one where there's a post-apocalyptic thing and this guy who's like socially awkward, he's like a bookworm and everybody makes fun of him and he's a nerd. He has these big like soda can ass glasses.
They're so funny.
And he goes down into the library because he reads on his break from work and everybody like kind of hates him and doesn't talk to him and stuff, so he doesn't have any friends. He goes down to the basement of his work, which is his library, and he like reads books. And the apocalypse happens, like nuclear war happens when he's down in like this basically like bunker reading a book. And then he comes up and the whole world is like annihilated with nuclear war. Nobody else is around. And he staggers through the streets and he comes to terms with the fact that he's the last person. And then he stumbles upon a library, which is disheveled and broken down, but full still of books that were somehow protected, right? He works at a bank, so he went underground into the bank vault with his own personal book to read during his lunch. That's how he survived the apocalypse, because he's a bookworm and he loves reading. Goes back up, post-apocalypse, everybody's gone, everything is gone, all the buildings are basically rubble. He eventually walks around this ruins until he comes across the library that was like half broken, but all the books are still there. And so now he gets to fulfill what he's always wanted to do. He hated work because it took away time from his reading, right? He's wanted to read books. So he's like, you know what? I never had any friends anyway. I was already a social outcast. I was already a loner. Now I don't have to go to work. I don't have to do anything. I have food and I have books because of whatever. But then he sits down finally to read his first book, and he like sits on a step and he tilts his head down and his glasses fall and they break, and he can't see. So that's like kind of the classic
There was
Twilight
time now.
So all that is to say, being radically alone, it would be an existential despair. It would be cool to even having a dog would make it better, right? Like
That's what I wrote in one of my answers.
yeah, having some sort of companionship, or even the hope of companionship. Like there's people out there, I just got to go find them. Like the humanity's been reduced to like 0.1%.
You're I'm Legend in it.
Yes, but if I knew that there is no companion possible,
No companion.
I mean, the medium security prison, at least you have community. You can joke around.
Dude, I don't know.
Make love with your fellow inmates.
Absolutely. I'm
Play-
doing that anyways.
Yeah.
Whether it's for life or not. But,
Lift weights.
yep, tearing ACL in the basketball court. But,
Absolutely.
here's the thing, though. You know what's weird? I thought that at first, I started even making caveats when I was thinking about this question to ask you. Because in my brain, I was like, oh, this is a no-brainer alone. Because I'll get to have some doggies or some fucking other animals. Whatever other animals, I'll have nature. I'll just live out my time in nature. Because I'm not saying it's an ideal life, but it's better than the prison life. And it was weird. I was like, what does that say about me? That I was like, boom, that one's easy. Easy. And so I started thinking, I was like, all right, let's make it harder. What if you could not have pets? What if there's no animals? You get nature, you get like all the environment stuff. There's no animals. And then I was like,
It'd be like hell.
dude, if there's no animals, and truly, and I don't think I don't think I grasp yet how truly no people, never hearing another voice again except for the voices of.
But is it
music
like
and
all?
stuff.
Is it like ruins, or is it like just
It's not
all
ruin.
living beings are raptured except you?
Yeah, the raptured way is a good put it. Yeah, they're like, oh, you'll have shit. You're not in a wasteland. It's not the road or
Yeah, okay,
anything.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you,
Full stores, stock shelves.
dude. Yeah, you get to live in whatever
Any
mansions
mansion,
you
yeah.
want. You know what? Let's also add an extra thing for the hypothetical. Even though you don't know how to fly a plane or whatever, you can travel. You can do whatever you want. But
But you could. With
how are you?
gas and
How
stuff?
are you getting to like fucking Japan?
Oh, you're not getting to Japan, but I'm saying you can travel across the U.S. and shit.
Sweet.
Cars and gas and, you know.
Actually, that would be good enough. But no, in this hypothetical, there's no animals, but you can go wherever you want. Let's just say you have like a jetpack or whatever. You can go to wherever you want. You can see the 7 wonders of the world. You can live there a year. You can live in each place a year.
It'd be so weird to go like to an empty Paris or like, yeah, an empty Great Wall of China or just drive for hours
Barnes
and hours
Noble.
across the country.
You don't have to say empty. You can just say Barnes and Noble.
Yes. That's a good one. That's interesting. I think the existential loneliness, I think we probably even underestimate a little bit how much we need other people.
I think I did too.
Yeah.
Because I was bothered by how quickly my brain, I was like, easy.
Yeah.
Because I think about that too. I think it's something I thought about a lot considering the way I've lived my life and drinking and driving stuff. I've thought about, dude, and that's not even life in prison. Dude, if I had to spend like 15 years in prison. Because one of the things I hated the most, like about jail, and even that somewhat extended time in jail, I wasn't worried. I wasn't scared, no dudes. But no, in all seriousness, it was the boredom.
Yeah, well, for me, it was the being contained like an animal. Like you rely on another person to come by with keys and decide when you can get out.
This sort of emotional claustrophobia too, not of actually tight spaces, but just like. And here's the other thing: you're around a lot of people. Don't think of it this way a lot, but you're around basically a lot of people who are trauma stricken, have probably underlying mental health issues.
Absolutely.
Just a lot of. I think I've said this word 3 times now. Must be the word of the day, but maladaptive behaviors. Yeah. So, I mean, when you're in prison, too, remember, it's not you're stuck you're with, like, shitty people, sociopath, like, you're with not the greatest. And so you have to, befriend them, or you just have to put up with them. Like, that was one thing I remember. There was this fight when I was in jail in South Dakota where this dude was being fucking annoying. And it was just like, ugh. It wasn't even the fact that I was just basically, it was a fart and snoring factory every night. It's just all punks. We just had all these metal punks, just all in the same mod. But it was just, dudes are just annoying. They're like the kids like in high school that like would try to fight or they do shit to get attention or they're crazy. They're basically them grown up a lot of times.
Sad, yeah.
And so those are the people you're with. And so that's the other thing too.
Yeah, see, a huge fucking fear of like max security prison. Like that would fucking be horrific. El Salvador's prison is like this looming specter now in the news. It's just like, can you imagine how fucking horrifying that would be? But if you're talking low to medium security prisons, that's a different animal.
No work release, but you have, let's say,
there's a certain amount of freedom. You can go in and out of your cell. You can go out and lift weights and play ball and watch TV and play cards and have relationships and best friends and shit.
Yeah.
Max security, I might go with the post-apocalyptic aloneness because max security.
You're getting
it's hell.
More maximum to the max of the personalities in there.
Yeah, everything.
And the lack of freedom.
The total restraint. 1 hour of outside time, the racial gang aspect, which I think is present in a lot of like super duty, super max.
That's a pro for you, right?
What?
That's a pro for
me.
Amongst the cons.
No, dude, like that would suck ass.
I remember one time I drove by Lyman Correctional. It's a really weird looking place. It looks like a mini Pentagon, but it's covered in razor wire, and it's out in the middle of nowhere in fucking Colorado. And I remember I was like driving by and I was like sightseeing because I watched it like Locked Up a lot. I was fascinated by that show, and I saw a lot of stories. They had some particularly crazy ones, and Lyman was one of like the great famous killers and all that type of stuff. And I drove by it, dude, and it looks evil. Like it's the razor wire and then just this low sort of just textureless, just beige, sad compound. And I just imagine, dude, if you got life in prison, you're like 30, you're driving there and you go, I'm never going to leave this place.
Absolutely.
This is the first and last time I'll see the outside of it, and the rest of my life is going to be in that place, just pointing at a building and going, that is it for me. Ooh.
I just quickly did a paper on the Omaha chapter of the Black Panther Party for a class, and the 2 leaders got wrapped up in COINTEL and imprisoned on false pretenses, as happens so often with the Black Panther Party, David Rice and Ed Poindexter. And they...
Amazing
for
names.
Crimes they didn't do. They were young guys in Omaha, young black dudes in Omaha trying to like stand up for their community, provide for their people, defend themselves against police violence in this brutally racist fucking system. COINTELPRO cracked down in every city where there was a Panther chapter, including Omaha. And they got sentenced to life in prison for a crime they didn't commit. They died in David Rice. He died in 2016, and then Ed Poindexter died in 2023, I believe, in prison. So they were young men, did nothing wrong, standing up for their people, committed no crime. Racist system puts them in prison. They spend their whole fucking lives in there. There's a video of Ed Poindexter on like a talk show before he went into prison. Obviously, like a morally upright, intellectually sharp guy who had real values and principles for how he was doing, somebody that was like an asset in any other society that wasn't disgustingly racist. Is like obviously a contributing member of society. Just his whole life ripped away from him by an unaccountable, racist, disgusting system. And that injustice is like incomprehensible. And for us on the outside, like, yeah, that guy spent his whole life in prison. That sucks. Imagine that's your life.
Dude.
Ripped away from
I
you.
have before.
And the worst part is, it's not a post-apocalyptic nothingness outside those gates. It's everybody continues their lives.
Yes.
And you're the one that's taken away. While your friends get married and have kids and your family grows up and your kids grow up.
Dude, I've thought about that stuff.
It's fucking disgusting.
I've talked about people that, just in treatments at some place I've been that have spent a good amount of time in prison. And man, it's so crazy. It's also another thing that shows you the power of addiction, because they're like, I'm not going back. And when they say I'm not going back, they're like, if I get in trouble with the law or something, I'm just going to kill myself like that. Like it truly, we know it sucks ass, but you just look at some of these guys, you're like, and again, it's not shit you see on Oz on HBO or something. It's not like worried about getting shanked every day.
Yeah.
Just the tedium, and then the loneliness, and then you always have to be on guard. So like you're still, you can't even kind of relax a little bit, and like at least a relaxed depression. You're like depressed but anxious, and anything could pop off, and you always have to, you can't ever like really connect fully, because you always have to keep a little bit of like the puffed out chest. And they just like, dudes could spend like 2 years in prison and then carry it in their shoulders for the rest of their life. Like that's how much it sucks.
And other people have complete control over your movement.
Oh yeah,
just like an asshole
and
guy.
They're just dudes too, by the way. They're just
a dude like. Yeah, that's like dumber than you and worse than you, but your life shook out in different ways, and then he's the one with the keys dangling it and deciding whether or not you get out, or you get an extra break time, or if you get that job in the library that you really want, or he doesn't like you.
Yeah.
It's like to hand over your personal freedom to another guy, and probably in a lot of cases, complete dipshits and assholes.
They got more tattoos than you.
Who dictate your life. Like that alone is just like unthinkable to me.
I'm glad we ended this on a good note.